Hi everyone, this is Mutahir. I am back on this channel with yet another analysis video of an upcoming project. This we are touching midnight on 5th of February here in Dubai, and I really wanted to push this video out because I believe this particular project that we're going to be talking about, it represents one of the greatest investment opportunities to have come not only this year but in a very long time. So stick to the end of this video, but before stepping into the details of this project, I wanted to briefly touch upon what are the key factors or indicators that I look at when gauging the merits or demerits of any investment opportunity. So, number one for me is, of course, the location. Location, I think, is super important in a market, especially such as ours, because when it's a seller's market, what happens is that a lot of developers tend to push out locations that are not too great, that don't really have short-term or mid-term potential for any sort of capital appreciation or reasonable ROIs as well, but they get sold out because of the market's appetite. Um, Number two is, of course, the developer itself. What sort of a track record they have, what have they delivered, what do they have the capacity to deliver, and number three, and probably the most important one, is the pricing and payment plan of that project. Because the location could be great, the developer could have had a great track record as well. But if the pricing and payment plan doesn't make sense, then of course we have to take that opportunity accordingly. So we'll step into the details of this project now and see where it takes us. Okay, so the project that we are looking at is Art Bay. It's a project consisting of two buildings, two low-rise buildings, G plus 10 only, coming up by Ellington on Al Jadaf, right on Dubai Creek. Amazing location. We're going to be dwelling more into the location in just a bit. But just for now, if you could look at the render of the project, so as I said, two buildings, one east tower and then the west tower on the left. You have this small community street going on in between. Again, this east tower and this west, both the towers, as you can see, are going to have the Dubai Creek view. So water view is what is the main selling point of this project. Both are going to have 10 floors, only 8 residential floors. So that's going to be your ground floor plus 2 floors for the parking, and then 8 residential floors. So we are essentially looking at around 140 to 150 odd units. Okay, now getting into some details about the 3 points that I'd mentioned initially as well, how they make sense when it comes to this project. Number one, location. So Al Jaddaf is one location where I actually have been waiting since a very long time for a decent high-end project to come. And this basically is exactly that. So Al Jaddaf is this area that I have highlighted here. It's a very centrally located area, by the way. It's very close to the downtown. It's very close to Zabil. It's close to Old Dubai, Bar Dubai, Dera areas such as that, and then of course the Northern Emirates as well, Sharjah and so forth. So it's almost a surprise for me that a good development has taken so long to come over here. We have a couple of renowned projects that we'll be touching upon right now, but still, I think there is a huge dearth of good quality projects, especially for end users in that market. And this project actually fulfills that demand very adequately. So this is the location of Al Jadaf. You of course have the Al Khail Road here that's connecting you to the most part of cities. Um, and then of course you have the Sheikh Zayed Road as well, which is running right through. If you look at the satellite imagery, it makes more sense. So Al Jadaf basically is divided into two parts. There is Al Jadaf mainland, which is most of these areas here that you see, and then there is the waterfront Jadaf, which is on the creek. This is, of course, the main premium part of the area is. For the mainland, we have a lot of hotels, hotel apartment buildings, mostly older buildings. And the thing that strikes out, you have a project by Bengati here, a couple of projects by Bengati here, Al Walid Garden 1 and 2 around here. And then you recently had a launch by Aqua Properties as well, O10. I think that building is also completing up. But this is the most prime real estate that we are talking about within Al Jadaf, one on the water on the Dubai Creek. And this project is actually going to be coming on one of these islands. Actually, this one, this middle one that you see, this is the main one. This is where it's going to be coming. If you just zoom in a little, this is where your Palazzo Versace is. This is the Palazzo. And then this is where your Art Bay Tower East and Tower West are going to be. You have this community road in between. Amazing location right on the creek. You have creek view from both the sides. You have the Sheikh Zayed connect. This road actually takes you to the street, sort of takes you to the Sheikh Zayed. Brilliant connectivity. If you just zoom out a little bit more, so this is Jaddaf. You have Dubai Creek Harbor right opposite it, the creek, same creek running in between, and then you have the festival city over here. We saw a lot of growth in Dubai Creek Harbor over here. Although in terms of distance, Dubai Creek Harbor tends to be slightly further down out from the city center, like DIFC or downtown or Burj Khalifa area, than Al Jaddaf would be. So again, this is the most densely populated belt, and anything close to that, anything where one could buy freehold area. Uh, I think Al Jadaf was waiting for a project like this to come up, and this project does have the potential to cater to a huge segment of market, which was waiting for an end user friendly product at a decent price point. Again, this is what we are looking at in terms of the building facade and renders. Um, I mean, U-type structure, you can see this is Tower East, this is Tower West. You, of course, going to have the entire marina walk, if you could call it that, or creek walk on both sides of the tower. There's also actually a park which is already situated here. It's called Al Jadaf Waterfront Park, if I'm not wrong. And this park is already here. So this is what your floor plate looks like typically. So you would notice that most of the apartment types, for example, these three bedrooms here or the two bedrooms here, most of them are going to have a front-facing water view. Even the studios here as well. Even the ones at the back, they're going to have a water view from here and slight water partial water view from here as well. So excluding a couple of these one-bedroom apartments, I think most of the apartments are going to have a good, decent open water view for most of the floors. Now, talking about the developers, Ellington, if you've been in Dubai's market for any time, you would know that Ellington is one of the best boutique luxury developer out there in the market. They have delivered some of the most brilliant projects in the past. They, have, example, Ellington built a brand in JVC called Belgravia, and even today, if you go to JVC, most of the end users and investors alike would tell you that JVC indeed has not seen a better quality product than Belgravia. So, I mean, Ellington, when it comes to quality, I would say is one of the best developers out there in the market at the moment. And Jadaf as well, I believe for the sort of plot that they have, the premiumness of the plot, I think this will be one of their best delivered buildings to come for sure. Just to give you an idea of what the renders look like, again, with this developer, you sort of get what you are looking at. The kitchens look amazing. I mean, look at the stone finishing on the for the splashbacks and the countertops. Very seamless, very modernized kitchen. Now, coming to the last point, the pricing and the payment plan. So the pricing has not yet been disclosed publicly. We have been given an indication by the Ellington's sales team that the prices are going to be somewhere around 1,800 dirhams to 1,900 dirhams per square foot. But with a developer such as this, which caters to a very niche market, you don't really get to have a lot of details before the launch date, whatnot. So the pricing tentatively, I think 1,800 to 1,900 dirhams per square foot. For context, Dubai Creek Harbor, if I have to compare it to a project in Dubai Creek Harbor, for example, the closest project would be the Cove cluster, situated on the waterfront, same creek, low-rise buildings, G+7 to G+10. Yeah, situated in an MR community, it makes a lot of difference. But again, I think LinkedIn's quality and the finishing they are going to give, or the layouts for that matter, the floor plates, I think that sort of nets that out. So The Cove is being sold at around 2,500 dirhams to 2,800 dirhams per square foot at the moment. This sort of tells you and gives you an idea of where the market is headed for a product such as this. And Al Jaddaf, or this particular project, it actually happens to have a much better location than Dubai Creek Harbor. When Dubai Creek Harbor is 5 to 7 minutes further down the road from the city center. For the payment plan, I am not too impressed. I think it could have been a slightly better payment plan. I would have personally likened a 60-40 payment plan for my investors, where they would pay only up till 60% during construction and then 40% at the time of handover. But here you see you are paying around, basically a 40% payment is to be paid within 3 months of making your booking. And then after that, most of it is tied to the construction of the project. Again, not an ideal one. I think 60-40 would have made this project even more desirable, but still, for the sort of quality and the location and the pricing that is being offered, I think this is one factor that can be overlooked for now. Now, in terms of exit strategies, there could be multiple. We can dwell more into that. If you're interested, you can give me a call. We can go over this. But how I'm looking at is the three main strategies that my investors can take up. Number one is, of course, you try to look to flip it as soon as possible after getting your unit at a reasonable premium. Number two is you go up until handover, and then at the time of handover, you tend to look to sell it essentially to an end user who can buy it on mortgage, or even an investor who would want to buy on mortgage. And then, of course, you capitalize on all the capital appreciation that must have happened over the course of next 2 to 3 years during construction. Number three is, rather than exiting the investment, you basically try to mature it. You pay off the entire 100% sum of it, and then take the handover and then rent it out. For this location, I would say that an Airbnb or short-term rental or a holiday home would do really well. So yeah, this is it. This is, I would say, one of the best opportunities to have come not only this year, but in a long, long time. As I said earlier, we have seen around 15 billion dirhams in sales transactions in January alone in Dubai. So the market is not showing any signs of slowing down, but it's equally important that you do your due diligence, or you have your property consultant do the due diligence before making the call to invest. This one makes a lot of sense. If you would want to get a unit, time is of essence for this one. We must submit EOIs ASAP and then try to secure a unit that makes sense. If you would want to discuss more about this one or any other project, feel free to give me a buzz on the number given below, and see you soon for another one.